teachers. Teachers, in most of the classes from Monday, a revision will be fed. But this revision is very crucial. There are a number of children who have different doubts in different concepts, different chapters. So when a revision session is effective and impactful, this is quite obvious that students will be getting over their doubts, and when they are appearing in their terminal examination, they'll be very confident to answer. So right now, I've got one sheet with me. In this sheet, all those steps are mentioned which we are to follow when we are to conduct our revision session. I would like all of you to focus on this so that there may not be any kind of doubt in anybody's mind. First of all, when we are to enter the class for conducting a revision session, what we need to do is we need to announce the work which we are to do in the class. What we are to do? We are to announce the work that we are to do in the class. So that way, all the children are aware now that this much work is to be done. Next, all teachers are to explain to the children that this much work is to be done today. So it's important that they should be responding in this manner. So in what manner do you want that children should be responding to you? In one word, the answer is attentive. Everybody should be attentive. So tell all the children that this much work is to be done. All of you need to be paid rapt attention. All of you should be completely involved and attentive. Now afterwards, we are to write down the name of the chapter which is to be revised, and thereafter we are to introduce that chapter. What we are to do? We are to introduce that chapter in brief. So we are not to take more than 1.5 to 2 minutes in the introduction of the chapter. So we are introducing the chapter so that all the children may just revive what they have understood about the theme of that chapter, which was taught to them around 3 months before. So 3 months before the work which was done, that is being revised now after the gap of 3 months. So therefore, it's very important that we introduce the chapter in the class. So brief introduction, theme of the chapter should be shared with the students, and afterwards, teachers are expected to take a quick round of the class. So when they take a quick round, they have to see that everybody should have classwork, notebook, and textbook. Now, classwork, notebook, the same chapter which is to be taught in the class should be opened, and classwork, textbook also, same chapter should be open. So here, from this point onwards, we are to explain the select points. Select points means those points about which you have mentioned in your revision plan that this work will be revised in the class. Means you have prepared the revision plan. In the revision plan, you have clearly mentioned that these particular points of this specific chapter will be revised in the class. So, whichever points you have mentioned, come to the point number 1. So, point number 1 is to be explained, and you're not to refer to the book. You are to explain that point. Okay? Children should be listening to you. Point is to be explained, and thereafter you have to raise question to them. The question should be such which can be answered by the children either in a word, or in 3 to 4 words, or in 1 or maximum 2 sentences. It should not be that kind of a question which is required to be answered in 3 sentences, 4 sentences, or 5 sentences. So such questions are to be raised. Now, for example, if you are teaching them a poem and you are telling them about that poem, that this poem is all about national integration. And you tell the children that national integration means that people belonging to all faiths, all religions, all sections of the society, they live happily together. Okay. If they live happily together, they don't have any division among themselves. They don't have any discrimination among themselves. Okay. So this is called national integration, and this is very badly needed. Now you raise question to Simran Singh. Simran Singh, you stand up. Tell me, what is needed in our country at this stage? I mean, in our country, we have so many people belonging to different religions, different castes. Okay. So what is needed in our country? So if he does not answer, so we are to answer. We are to say national integration is needed. Okay. Now next question. Harjot Singh, you stand up. Harjot Singh, tell me, what is needed at this stage in our country? Harjot Singh, I told you a minute before. So Harjot Singh says, ma'am, national integration. Yes, national integration is needed in our country. Now you please, Armanpreet, you stand up. What do you mean by national integration? Tell me, what do you mean by national integration? Answer in one sentence. Means, what kind of situation should be there so that you may say, yes, here we have national integration. If people belong to different castes, if people belong to different religions, they belong to different sections, okay? So how should they live so that there may be national integration? Now here you are giving them clues. Okay. So child will say they should all live together happily. Okay. So children, when we have national integration, how do people live together? Do they have hatred for each other or they have some other feelings? So answer is they have some other feeling. What kind of feeling do they have? They have feeling of love for one another. They have feeling of harmony for one another. So the answer is love, yeah, harmony. So such questions should be raised in the class, and those questions should be answered by the students in either one or two words or at the most in one sentence. Okay. And when we are raising questions, first of all, the question should be raised to a bright student. When bright student answers our question, we should listen to that answer and we should repeat that answer for the benefit of the whole class. Now, same question is to be raised to the slowest learner. So, when the slowest learner is asked this question, he answers the question in broken English. Okay, so we have to correct the sentence and we have to repeat that sentence again. So, this is the format that we have to use when we are conducting revision. So each point is to be explained. Based on each point, questions are to be raised, and based on each point, questions which are raised, those are to be answered also by us. Teacher is supposed to answer the questions. Now after that, we have examination-based questions. So in your revision plan, I have seen that teachers have pointed out that these are the questions given in the lesson plan which are to be discussed with the students. So write down that question on the board. When that question is written on the board, children are to be told to read that question and tell you what they have understood out of that question. So students should read that question and they should tell us what they have understood out of that question. Okay. And then that question is to be answered by us. It is not to be dictated. I repeat, it is not to be dictated. It is to be answered. Now, when the buzzer is pressed, after that we are to get final feedback based on the entire work done in the class. So if I have taught a poem where the mind is without fear, it has been revised. So I should be raising some questions again. Okay, based on this poem where the mind is without fear, and after feeling satisfied, I should be assigning homework to the children. The day when it is the day of written homework, then written homework is to be assigned. The day when it is not the day of written homework, then we are to assign oral work. And it is important that when children are to do written work, the description in the O-Book diary should be this: learn and write the answers of the questions dictated in the class. Learn and answer the questions dictated and discussed in the class. So such homework should be given to the children. Well, revision sessions are very crucial, and the time period when revision session is to be conducted is very sensitive. So this is my appeal to all the teachers working in the school, that this is not the time when we are to take leave from the school. We are to attend the school, and we are to conduct impactful revision-oriented sessions, and we are to prepare our children, groom our children extremely well for their terminal examination that we are going to have after a few days. I hope that all teachers have understood how we are to attend or how we are to conduct the revision classes. This is afternoon time. I am also not, that focused. So if here and there somewhere I have fumbled, so please ignore that. But whatever I have tried to communicate, just catch the spirit of that and implement the same when you are meeting the students from Monday onwards. Thank you so much. Take care.